Coach Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
We need a real American to sing at the Super Bowl. Not somebody who is bad, who only sings in Espanol. We need a patriot who is wholesome and is good. Go ahead and ask Mike Johnson, and he'll say that's Lee Greenwood. And I ought to sing at the Super Bowl instead of Bad Bunny. Even though you can't dance to the song, and I'm super elderly, so it's time to stand up for the flag on Super Bowl Sunday. 'Cause you can listen to me sing this song without Google Translate.
And he was great at the fair, as I understand. 305.
Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast.
It is the big broadcast. Happy Hour. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV. We love Mondays because David Blackman joins us. That'll be in just a few minutes, around 3:15. My co-host Pamela Dubuque is here, looking mighty awesome.
And here they are.
Am I allowed to say that to her?
No.
Should have checked ahead of time. How was your weekend?
It was really good. How was yours?
It was, I was downtown Friday evening in the area. You know, a week ago today, have we forgotten?
No.
You know, that was our topic the entire day last week, except for the time we spent with David. Certainly the whole morning show was nothing but. And I was glad to see the restaurants all had heavy traffic, but the streets were empty. No people walking around, just, you know, enjoying the ambiance of downtown, because it really is a cool place. But everybody was somewhere.
Well, and then we had another terrible crime in the early morning hours.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you don't want to be caught lacking in the streets of Montgomery after dark right now.
No. I don't have a death wish or anything. I wish it would change. I wish the mayor would be everybody's mayor. But
I know.
That's a lot to ask, right? So I wore my happy shirt today. She gets, it's okay.
She's singing to herself.
We're glad she's here. Hi. Oh.
Yeah, she's got her headphones on. She's listening to a song called Ordinary. It sounds like she's singing along with it. My kids are obsessed with it.
We want to get David on time with us, so we're going to jam up the early part of the show here a little bit. Make sure you know we're covered by some pretty awesome people. And if you have a day off and you're in the market for reliable pre-owned transportation, Jack Ingram Signature Used Cars is the place to start. This morning they had some new additions under 20. In fact, they've got a couple of vehicles, including a 2008 Nissan Titan Luxury Edition, $59.99. $69.99 gets you into a 2008 Ford F-150 Lariat. At $69.99, a 2017 Buick Encore Sport Touring, and a new addition to the pre-owned fleet at $69.99. It may be 10 years old, but it's a 2015 Honda CR-V in excellent condition. Honda's run forever, and this car would not be on the website along with any of the others, whether you're looking to spend under 10 or over 30 or 40 or 50, whatever. they all have one thing in common. They are reliable cars. They have been checked out to the maximum extent that can be, including the Carfax report, mechanics tasked with find a reason to not resell this machine. And the body shop gets a look. And if it passes all those tests, then and only then does it go on the floor with the Jack Ingram guarantee. So, by the way, with 25 lending partners, they will get you done. All credit scores are welcome. They'll figure it out. They'll work it out for you. Just get yourself in. I think you'll also appreciate the utmost in sales professionalism that the Ingram team brings to the table. Love these folks. 8-time customer here. And I'm about to pay off one of my cars.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's a great feeling. Because I'm not known for that. But yeah, I got a good price. Payments have been reasonable. And am I going to buy another one? I love my car. I would feel like I was betraying it if I traded it in. It's a Nissan Rogue, and it's I think I've had it for 70,000 miles and never had trouble with it. Start at JackIngramSignatureUseCars.com. As I mentioned, David Blackman's going to join us in about 6 shopping minutes. I think the first thing we should do here is check in at the traffic dungeon and see what's happening on the drive-in. There's a few people driving around with their heads squarely in their ass this afternoon. That I can tell you, without question. Mm-hmm. What is it with people who are like from Taylor Road getting onto Interstate 85 southbound? You'd think that they had all day to...
I know.
I'm going 35. The speed limit says 70. Come on. You're dangerous when you do that. The preceding was a public service announcement from me.
It's so kind of you to visit me in my loneliness.
Okay. How are we doing out there, Skipper?
Well, we hope you're having a fantastic Columbus Day. Columbus Day traffic looks like this. Light to moderate all over the Montgomery area. Little busy on East and East-South Boulevard, but that said, you know, we're just not seeing anything right now that's going to slow you down wherever you are. Just normal traffic flow for this time of day. Buckle up, drive carefully. We will keep you updated. McKinnon Toyota has the largest selection of Toyota Grand Highlanders in the area. They're beautiful, and they're waiting for you. It's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
Fox Tuesday. It's a night of unforgettable drama. First, a new mystery unravels on murder in a small town.
Let's find him.
Suspects on foot. Send all units.
Then, a new episode of TV's most addictive medical drama, Doc.
You're reviewing my cases? I will know everything that goes on in my hospital. I'm not going anywhere.
Tuesday on Fox 20.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
Progressive presents a testimonial of sorts.
Hey, slow down! Oh yeah? Well, you drive like my grandma. She's a very attentive and courteous driver who wears a seatbelt and always uses her turn signals. She's also a talented painter and has very low cholesterol. Not that that has anything to do with her drive. We just thought a more complete picture of who she is might be interesting. Anyway, have a nice day.
Safe driver? Get Snapshot from Progressive and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Hello there, this is Dr. Sam, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Frequency sales. The more ads you can get on the air, the better the chance it'll make an impact. Radio allows advertisers an inexpensive way to get their voice heard over and over again. Contact me, Dr. Sam, by going to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
Progressive presents a testimonial of sorts.
Hey, slow down! Oh, yeah? Well, you drive like my grandma. She's a very attentive and courteous driver who wears a seatbelt and always uses her turn signals. She's also a talented painter and has very low cholesterol. Not that that has anything to do with the drive. We just thought a more complete picture of who she is might be interesting. Anyway, have a nice day.
Safe driver? Get Snapshot from Progressive and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Was your grandmother just trying to get on Interstate 85? I think I was right behind her. Coming up in minutes, actually less than minutes, David Blackman will be joining us. The market, the Dow finished up 600. Nice rally after the losses on Friday. Brant McDonald joins us at 5:15 to explain it all and how it impacts you and your money. And if you'd like to sit down with a great financial planning team, meet the group at Invista Advisors, a no-pressure consultation at 387-0094. I think you'll find a very impressive group of people there.
Attention business owners. Did you know that about 90% of employees and customers are unhappy when they walk into a dirty building? Let Janny King, the king of clean, keep your business pristine. Janny King's local franchise owners can handle your cleaning needs with reliable hands-on cleaning solutions that deliver more than just a clean space. Janny King comes with regional support, which ensures consistency and quality, allowing you to focus on all the other needs of your business. Go to JannyKingCleans.com.
Janny King, the king of clean.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I am Jeff Bezos, and I am incensed by an insolent investigative report insinuating that Prime Day deals are an illusion. You see, a certain newspaper alleges that I raised my prices ahead of Prime Day only to lower them to make them seem like a discount. That it's all smoke and mirrors. By the way, mirrors were 25% off, smoke not included. So, which horrible rag of a newspaper was printed such libelous lies? It's the Washington Post! I own the frickin' Washington Post! It's like a scene in every horror movie when they say the call is coming from inside the house. It's like I'm living in a slasher film called I Know What You Did Last Prime Day. It's all fake news.
As the 21st century began, natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits. A dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
David Blackman and Greg Budell present Tales of the Idiocracy.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on this Columbus Day, and yes, we celebrate Columbus Day here, we now travel via the magic of the internet to somewhere in Texas, Dallas, and vicinity to America's greatest and savviest and most insightful political blogger, interpreter of polls, and an oil and gas industry expert without peer, and a really smart baseball guy. He's got a team in the playoffs. Let's put our hands together for David Blackman, everybody.
Yeehaw, y'all. And happy birthday to the state of Texas on its 180th anniversary of its admission to the Union.
Woo.
I so appreciate Texas. I reliably read, and would I be correct in saying getting a little redder?
Getting a little redder, yes. Redder all the time. God bless Texas.
It's a song there. It's getting redder all the time. Redder, redder, redder. Now you know. Now you know why I played records on the radio, why I worked. I don't know if David's ever heard this 30 or 40,000 times. Why I worked with a group called Styx, the band, because I can't sing worth a hoot. But I can occasionally get the idea across. I wanted to mention something I observed because I thought it was brilliant. However, not everything I think is brilliant is. So I'm asking you, my master of political insight, when it came to paying the troops because of the Schumer shutdown, that they came up with the money by taking money from tariffs. I thought that was like a master stroke.
Yes.
Because the average tariffs, why are we doing tariffs? That's so 19th century and all that other garbage. Anyway, I thought that was a really great idea to make sure the military folks got taken care of. We're asking a lot of them. And
every veteran should know that your favorites in the Democratic Party are moving heaven and earth to try to prevent President Trump from using the money for that purpose on the 15th.
Who could be surprised at that? Yeah. They're just, again, as you've said so many times, and it bears repeating, you couldn't make these people up in a million billion years, and why would you if you could? They are just absolutely the worst. Although a couple, I'm not sure if she was sincere or not, but a couple have actually praised the deal he's put together. It seems to be going well. What's your take on where things sit right now?
Well, as of last Thursday when we talked, I'd never expected Hamas would actually release the hostages. They've done that. And by doing that, they've surrendered whatever leverage they had remaining to remain some sort of a power player in Gaza. So that is surrender. I mean, the hostages were their only leverage, and they've surrendered that. I think that means this peace agreement is going to go through in all aspects. And, I suspect that the countries of the Arab world and Muslim world who have signed on to this process leaned on the leaders of Hamas to face reality finally and save their own skins. And so that's wonderful. It's, and President Trump, as most people today in both Israel and Egypt acknowledge, deserves 100% of the credit for this, because without him, none of it happens.
But wait a minute. I thought Anthony Blinken said that Joe Biden had a major role in this.
There was never a day in Biden's 4-year fake presidency when he would have been able to even point to Israel on a map. Okay. He didn't have anything to do with this. And anyone who says he did is just a liar. I mean, and there's no other option. They're just liars.
I find it absolutely nauseating that Blinken would do such a thing.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I understand politics and there aren't too many rules and there's no how low can you go, but they seem to find new depths of depravity to sing to.
Yeah.
Because that's
so he and most of the other Democrats are angry about all of this, because the way Trump got it done was to ignore all the really smart people at the State Department and in the CIA, which are indistinguishable from one another, or were until this administration took charge. He ignored their advice. He dealt with these countries and this problem from a businessman's point of view and not a diplomat's point of view, and went about making deals with all of these countries to sign on to this agreement to get peace established in that part of the world. And no person with a lick of common sense or who cares about human lives would have any problem with doing it that way at all. But of course, Anthony Blinken is a creature of the deep state and the State Department. And so he hates everything about it, because it proves, just like it proves the worthlessness of the United Nations, it proves the uselessness of all these Ivy League educated idiots who have been running the State Department for the last 100 years. And the best thing we could do to clean out Washington, D.C. would be to ban anyone with a degree from Harvard or Yale from ever serving in the government again. That would be the fastest way to fix things.
And again, what we're seeing here with Antifa and the anti-ICE demonstrations, which appear to be paid for. There's that story out there that,
of course,
they absolutely are.
The crowd forming company suddenly has issues with some of the events that are going on. They said they've been lied to. Well, there's a surprise.
Do they have a problem with all the old, fat, ugly people who are running around naked up in Portland?
Good Lord. I mean, you know, most of the time I have no objection to a naked body, but there are people that should really always remain clothed. And you know who I want to put on the list? That lunatic that's running for governor of California.
I knew you were going to say that.
If I had to make a list of all the people I never want to see naked, not even in a nightmare, she'd be at the top of the list. That woman is forked in the head, if anybody
is. A mean lady.
Mm-hmm.
How does she even?
She's a psychopath.
Yeah. So how?
By the way, so is this Abigail, what's her name, Spanberger in Virginia. Complete psychopath.
Yeah, that I've been reading the blog. David will give you the blog address shortly, so you can look up and support his work. But I've been following that very carefully. That in New Jersey as well.
Yeah.
And the absolute refusal of Democrats, and I know they're great at circling their wagons, never around anything good. I mean, let's circle our wagons and make sure that we get the shutdown over. No. In fact, let me ask you this, and I don't mean to bounce all over the place, but we've been working together for a while, and you're kind of used to it. I'm hoping.
I like that.
That the Democrats are going to keep this shutdown going through next weekend because there's a no kings, because we have a king, right?
Come on.
A no kings rally, a big thing going on in D.C., and they don't want to face that crowd if they agree to pass that resolution. And they're going to wait until that's over. And that's the reason this is taking so long, which is just as insane as any other excuse. There's no good reason for any of it. But New Jersey's interesting because that woman is almost like a 3D replication of the woman in Virginia.
Yeah.
They're the same. They have no answers.
Yeah.
And these, to a large extent, are the tip of a bigger iceberg with these suburban white women who still embrace lunatic liberal as long as they don't affect them. It's like, yeah, but don't move into my neighborhood. Okay.
Right.
I'll look out for you politically, but please, move somewhere else. That's the way they are. They're all the worst hypocrites. This Virginia thing, and I had a different impression of Winsome Sears, but still, I'd much rather see her be the next governor of Virginia.
Sure.
And as you pointed out in your blog today, is it Spanberger that's running against
Abigail Spanberger? Yes.
All right. She has absolutely refused to condemn outright, and I've heard some very frustrating and annoying interviews with her. The comments that surfaced from the guy running for attorney general on the Democratic side, who said he wished for bullets in the head of his opponent and his two kids.
And his two children, yeah.
And she cannot bring herself, well, I don't approve that kind of thought. She's got to condemn that. And the person that put it out there, that's a window into what this guy is really all about, no matter what kind of smile he puts out in public. He looks like an Obama lightweight to me. Yeah. And this is starting to hurt her in the polls. Is that true?
It is, yeah. And think about what it says about her, because to refuse to condemn what the guy said and demand to get out of the race, that means at some level she has to approve of what he said.
Right.
She has to think what he said is fine and okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just, par for the course in the Democratic Party these days. So, it's really a window into her soul, which may not even exist. Because for someone to refuse to condemn that kind of language, if this guy was a Republican, every Republican in the country would have demanded he get out of the race.
Along with every media outlet and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. And rightly so.
Yeah.
You just can't tolerate that, especially, for any office, but especially in a guy who wants to be the chief law enforcement officer
Yeah.
of the state. It's just
Right.
unimaginable. But she was handed some poll-tested talking points by the Democratic Party, which probably spent $1 million focus grouping and polling that specific question to figure out what talking point would lose the fewest votes for her. And she is religiously sticking to that talking point, and so it just also shows what a complete empty suit she really is, because she can't even, she can't even really speak what's really on her mind, which is pathetic. And
They're all like that.
Democrat voters have a history of being perfectly fine with candidates like that. So she's still the favorite in the race, and I suspect she'll win. I think Winsome Sears is a fine person, an ex-Marine. She's just wonderful. She's been a fine lieutenant governor. She's a terrible candidate. She's run a lousy campaign. She doesn't speak. It doesn't come across real well on television, and it's unfortunate. She just is not a good candidate, and she'll probably lose.
Hold on a second. I just saw Katie Porter on TV.
Oh gosh.
There she is in all her glory.
Oh my God.
I missed it. Thank goodness.
How would you like to wake up next to that? Oh. Let's have a moment of levity, shall we? In fact, I don't mean to, again, I'm bouncing around here, but something came to mind while you were talking about the Middle East agreement. And it was a comment made in the studio years ago by a man named David Bronner, who runs and manages the money for the retirement systems of Alabama. And he's done an incredible job at that. And he was in the studio. He's kind of a classic liberal politically, but I think more in the Bill Maher sense than what we call liberalism today. That liberalism today is either lunacy or fascism.
Yeah.
And I asked him, what do you worry about, when it comes to, this is a huge responsibility, billions of dollars. And he said, one thing that could destroy the financial system is any type of nuclear event in the Middle East. And that made sense. He explained, and at that time, things were very different. This is during Obama's presidency. What are the chances now that with this deal that's been greatly diminished? It seems to me there are some enforcement structures in this agreement. And also that Trump said that this due in part to putting Iran out of the nuclear business. Does all that make sense?
Oh, it makes total sense. Yeah. Because that was a big threat that has helped prop up all these, both Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. The threat of Iran having a nuclear weapon and being willing to deploy it has always been a great source of tension in the Middle East for the last 30 years. And it's added, a lot of dollars to the price of crude oil, for most of that time. And now, and so that I think had Iran, had we not sent those bombers over there to destroy their nuclear program in Iran, and in that tension and that threat, it really diminished the ability and willingness of these other countries, the Arab and Muslim countries, to continue propping up that terrorist operation in Gaza. And so I think that did definitely help bring about this peace. And it's also played a significant role in dropping the price of crude oil here in the United States below $60 for the first time in several years. And I suspect you're going to see gas prices dropping by 20 cents a gallon within the next week too.
That was my next question, because I've already seen it come down at the place where I regularly buy gas, and I wasn't sure why that might be happening. And before I could even ask the question, because Ask Pamela, I got it written down right here. Questions for David that just pop into my head. So, wow, 20 cents a gallon?
That's nice.
Man.
I think you can expect that probably within the next couple of weeks, as long as the price doesn't shoot back up for some reason.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why that would be the case. I remember back when I was lobbying in Austin, I remember having a conversation with the Speaker of the House. This would have been in 2009 when the price had flown up, or 2008, I guess it was, when it flew up to $140 at one point. He said, well, how much of that do you think is just due to fear, of a war breaking out in the Middle East, which there was very high tension. And that reason at the time, I said, at least $60 of the $140 is just purely because people are worried about what might happen in the Middle East. Now that dissipated quickly. But, there's been times, a lot of times, when just the prospect, some back during the Iran-Iraq war, there was $10, $15 added to the price of oil, and Operation Desert Storm, the price shot up $20. And so there's been a lot of times when what's happening in the Middle East really impacted oil prices. And now that fear factor, fear premium is what I used to call it, is pretty much non-existent at this moment in time. And that's a blessing for everybody.
Yeah. I remember, David, when the news broke that Iraq had invaded Kuwait. That's all that had happened up till that point. I'm driving to work the next morning down in South Florida, and I'm watching, there's a big gas station just before you get onto Interstate 595, and they were already up there changing the numbers higher. And nothing had happened yet, really. They just, the gas was already delivered in the ground, but it got more expensive just that morning. I mean, our frequency was 106. So we used to, it's a different era in radio, but we would go to gas stations, set up a deal, and we would go out and pump gas for $1.06 a gallon when the spike came along. Things like that, $1.06 a gallon.
That's crazy.
That would be nice to see that again.
Listen, man, I'll never forget the first time I had to take my mother's car. I was in high school. The Arab oil embargo hit in October of 1973. And I took my mom's 1972 Pontiac Granville to fill it. I had like a 26-gallon gas tank. I had to go fill it up, and she gave me a $10 bill to go figure it out because, prices, we were used to paying $29.9 for gasoline, so that was plenty. And I come back with just about 2/3 of the tank. I said, Mom, that $10 wasn't enough. And she was like, oh, my God, what do you mean? I said, well, it was 50 cents a gallon, believe it or not. It's the first time I ever remember paying 50 cents a gallon.
Oh, my God.
I know there were shortages in the spring of 79. I'll never forget Mastermind Jimmy Carter. His solution was, I can't do it if I'm going to laugh. Just take
I know what you're about to say.
Yeah. If your license plate ends with an odd number or the letter is an odd letter, you can buy gas on this date and then every other day. Only on those days, though. I don't know how that was enforced, but everybody kind of took it seriously. And that was just another inconvenience, nincompoop leadership like that. And I'm not even sure why we had a shortage then. Of course.
Well, it was another embargo. It was another Saudi Arabia embargo.
Okay.
I was living in Houston at that time, and I remember one day sitting in a gas line that was several hundred cars long for about 3 hours before I could fill my car up with gas.
We're going to pause here. David, please give your blog address so people can find and support your amazing work.
Yes, it's davidblackman.substack.com for politics and blackman.com for energy. I write about both every day.
And we'd like to reassure you again that this incredible Middle East peace deal was assembled without any help from Joseph Robinette Biden, even though he was out glad-handing last night.
And Neil Smith, an old buddy. Are you here, Neil? Neil, I miss you, man. I miss you.
Yeah. This show, our Tales of the Idiocracy, is presented by Montgomery Paint and Body, the premier body shop here in the River region with 4 decades of experience. The only question you need to ask when your car is damaged, however way, is do you want it fixed or do you want it fixed right? Assuming the latter, the number you need is 27-REC with a W for Montgomery Paint and Body on the Boulevard at East Shirley Lane. Let's see, you might need them right now. We've got news next and back with Dave.
Well, traffic is looking good this afternoon on the interstates, boulevards, light to moderate traffic flow all around Montgomery. A little busy on 65 northbound from South Boulevard up to the interchange. And we got a good bit of traffic on East and East-South Boulevard. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka not reporting any issues at the moment. Buckle up. Even here, we'll keep you updated.
High school students get a head start on your college with dual enrollment at Trenton State. Over 400 students are taking advantage of this program. Registration is going on now for spring of 2026. Go to trentumstate.edu/dual enrollment for more information. I'm Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
News is brought to you by Budget Floors and More, your new best friend.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. An arrest has been made in connection to the October 4th mass shooting that left 2 people dead and 12 injured in downtown Montgomery. A juvenile male is charged with 1 count of capital murder and 12 counts of assault. The juvenile suspect's name and age have not yet been released. Additional arrests are expected as the investigation continues. Main Street Montgomery is planning a community dialogue on violence in the capital city later this week. The public forum will be held Wednesday evening at Little Donkey on North Perry Street beginning at 5:30 p.m. Main Street Montgomery serves as a bridge between downtown businesses and residents in the city. Montgomery police are investigating a Saturday night shooting that left a juvenile seriously injured. The incident happened around 11 p.m. just off Virginia Loop Road in the 4000 block of Fitzpatrick Boulevard. The unidentified juvenile male was taken to a local hospital in critical condition. Suspect and motive remain unknown. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray to Publix.
Finding affordable health coverage for your family shouldn't take a treasure map or a magic genie. You just have to know where to look. Guardian Insurance Services is making it even easier during open enrollment with simple, affordable plans that fit your family and your budget. Good coverage is just a few clicks away. But don't wait. Open enrollment is only for a limited time. Visit myguardiancu.com/health and get started today.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Let's face it, what our customers say about our business is the most important advertising tool. Here at Adams Drugs, we love our customers. We're here with Al and Amy Steinecker, Adams Drugs customers. Amy, please tell us how easy it was to transfer your prescriptions to Adams Drugs from the big box store.
It was one of the easiest things I've ever done. I went into the pharmacy on Bond Road and spoke with the pharmacist and told him we had not been happy where we'd been and would love to transfer our prescriptions. And he said, I'll be happy to call them. And that was that. And now when I call, I just say I need to have a prescription filled. And it's just that simple.
Al, what has your customer service been like at Adams Drugs?
It's amazing. You walk in, you're not standing in a line. They speak to you, call you by name, and say, what do you need today, Al or Mr. Steinecker? It's wonderful. It doesn't get any better.
Please come into any Adams Drugs location and let us earn your business. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For tough, good-looking roofs, it's Tamco Shingles from Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For great folks and great prices, call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. This extended string of storm-free dry days continues. We need some rain desperately. For tonight, mostly clear skies. Another jacket weather night. Overnight low temperature falls to the middle 50s. Tomorrow, Tuesday, and also on Wednesday and probably Thursday as well. With abundant sunshine, I think we are a little warmer with a high up to about 86 tomorrow, maybe 87 as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday. The morning's still in the 50s until we get to, I think, Friday morning near 60. And there could be some isolated showers on Saturday, but I wouldn't bet the farm. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No.
Cut him off.
Mm-hmm.
Is Stephanopoulos looking to get ABC to write another big check to somebody for defamation or libel? I mean,
they'll never stop.
Until they're stopped.
Yeah, until they're stopped. Yeah.
I heard that since we're in that realm of network news, that Barry Weiss has a lot of people upset about things going down at CBS, including asking everyone, just like Trump did, and Doge, tell us what you do here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you do here? How hard is that?
And the union is raising hell because you can't ask anybody what they do. That's why unions are so great, and broadcast unions especially, absolutely worthless.
Yeah, and she's going to have those kinds of issues constantly. I admire her for taking on that task, but unless David Ellison is ready to just start firing people willy-nilly, she's got a job that's going to be almost impossible. For example, Kristen Welker works for her. No, Margaret Brennan works for her, excuse me, at Face the Nation. Her interview yesterday was just as bad as that one conducted by Stephanopoulos. And, what are you going to do about Margaret Brennan? She's just a pure propagandist paid for by the Democrat Party and no telling who else, completely co-opted, not a journalist in any respect of that word. What are you going to do about her? Are you going to just, keep trying to convince her to change her ways? Or are you just going to fire her, replace her with somebody who's an actual journalist? Maybe replace her with Megyn Kelly, if Megyn Kelly would be willing to do that job. Somebody who's actually a real journalist.
And somebody who would actually bring some viewers to the tube.
Right, and who would actually help with ratings and things like that. That's what she's going to have to be willing to do ultimately. She can try to encourage these people and try to bargain with them and plead with them all she wants to, but these people are not journalists. They're activists. They are owned by the Democrat Party and the deep state interests who fund the Democrat Party. And they're not going to change unless they're forced to change. And that's just the way it is.
It's so incredible to me, and I'm just being maybe a little naive here, David, but that the news industry, print media, all the networks could be so thoroughly infested with one political ideology.
Yeah. Well, they're all products of the same journalism schools at Columbia and the Ivy League. Again, if you just get rid of everybody who's got an Ivy League degree out of government and out of the media, the United States would be immeasurably better place to be.
Before we get to President Trump's speech at the Knesset, I did find a clip. In fact, it was sent to me by one of our great listeners. We have some great contributors of Dan Rather. And this is 43 years ago. And it speaks to the launch of the climate crisis. I hope you don't mind if I do this.
Share it.
Oh, I was going to share it. See, just like that. And there we go.
Concern about rising temperatures on planet Earth heated up a hearing here in Washington today. For years, scientists have theorized about the dangers of the so-called greenhouse effect, the warming of the Earth's atmosphere due to the burning of coal and oil. And in recent months, as David Culhane reports, research has uncovered facts to support that theory.
Oh.
Many scientists claim that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere has been rising over the past 100 years, that the great sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at a much more rapid rate than previously. And finally, that the sea level has been rising with increasing swiftness over the past 40 years. If these scientists are correct, about 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world.
Take a look at that map. That's what they were telling us 43 years ago, that Florida would look like that. But wait, there's more.
Climate changes could produce widespread disruption of agriculture. The American farm belt might be too dry, and the wheat and corn crops would have to move to Canada. Scientists blame the odorless, colorless carbon dioxide gas for these potentially dangerous changes around the planet. It is the greenhouse effect. The gas allows sunlight to filter down and warm the Earth. But like the glass of a greenhouse, the carbon dioxide tends to trap heat so that it cannot rise into space. The scientists maintain that the coal, oil, and gas we've been burning for 100 years have produced more and more carbon dioxide and helped overheat the Earth. Now, some political leaders endorse the demands for more CO2 monitoring stations, like this one in Hawaii. And they share the anger of the scientists at Reagan administration budget cuts at a time when they feel closer to getting definitive answers.
This sounds so familiar to me.
Answers. Oh. It's also dramatic.
And it's all such crap, Ola.
It is crap. I mean, the Antarctic sea ice extent is far greater today than it was in 1982, first of all. Sea levels have been rising at a very steady pace, not an accelerated pace, for well over 2 millennium. Okay, I mean, they continue to rise at exactly the same pace they have. Yes, is the world getting warmer? Yes, it's been getting warmer since the end of the last ice age, 11,000 years ago. Okay, I mean, it's just, but they've developed this fantasy as a tool to push socialist policies and authoritarian policies and cut our freedoms and make us a more compliant and afraid people that is easier to govern. And they've done it for 45 years now. And they're going to continue doing it again, just like the fake journalists. They'll keep doing it until they're stopped. And somebody's going to have to stop them. I'm hoping it'll be the Trump administration.
It's got to happen at some point. And simultaneous to that, the Al Gore book is still available in schools. That was one big fairy tale. Yeah. I mean, that
the guy won the Nobel Prize for that book in 2007. Think about that.
And there's still
nothing in it was right.
Nothing. And yet it's still considered a textbook or a school book.
Yeah.
They've got to get in and get rid of all that shinola because it's ridiculous. It's infuriating that any kid would. And I saw a survey recently that the percentage of people under the age of 30 that are terrified of this climate crisis on a day like this, the hell's wrong with you? if there was a crisis, I think that would be an ongoing thing that would just continue to worsen. They don't seem to be noticing that we're having actually a pleasant fall.
Yeah.
There was a
and
guy.
one of the slowest hurricane seasons on record, slowest
you.
tornado season of any year in the last 30 years. We should all be happy.
I was just going to mention, I forget the young man's name. He's an internet weather guy, and he's good. And he posted last week that we made it through the entire month of September for the first time in 10 years without a landfalling U.S. hurricane. And he was stunned.
What is that?
What is that noise? Yeah.
I'm not hearing it.
Oh,
It went away.
I don't know.
What was it?
Did you have a plane fly by or a lawnmower go by your
No.
window? That's weird.
Where are you today, by the way, in that the backdrop? Is that
I'm
Dallas?
in my house. I just like that background.
Is it
No, it's
Austin?
cool.
That is downtown Houston. That one's downtown Houston. Yeah.
Could you find a New Orleans background to match my shirt?
Sure.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I can totally do that.
I want to look so cosmopolitan.
Ooh, I have a good
For
one.
Jazz Fest. That looks kind of jazz festy.
Yeah. Anyway, what he was not prepared for was the blowback on what everybody with a brain would say, well, that's good. We didn't have a landfalling hurricane. There was no Helene. There was no Milton to tear up the Tampa Bay ballpark, etc. Instead, he got hit with all kinds of leftist insanity, vicious, ugly insanity. That's what they do. You believe what we tell you, or we're going to make your life a living hell. And he just wasn't prepared for that. He's a weather guy. That's his thing. He's obsessed. And all he did was share a good piece of news, and they wanted his head for it. It's so ridiculous. I have not had a chance to hear the president's speech at the Knesset, but
It was glorious.
give us he's got such a good sense of humor. In fact, I wonder, does he really use a teleprompter, or does he just like to riff?
Well,
off what he
both. I
sees?
mean, he has a teleprompter with the prepared speech on it, and but he stops repeatedly to riff and just tell stories. And so speech text that would have been 20 to 30 minutes long lasted an hour, which is just the same as most of his major speeches. But the guy's comedic timing is just amazing.
He's a showman. Yeah.
And he paid such an amazing tribute to Steve Witkoff and to Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, for their work in getting this done. He spread the credit around to everyone who's worked on it. And it was really a delightful speech. It's a speech that only he could deliver in a way that would be memorable like that. And then in the middle of it too, towards the end of it, he breaks off to urge the president of Israel, who's sitting right there on the podium with him, to issue a pardon for Benjamin Netanyahu. Has been, there's been this effort to impeach him going on for 2 years over a scandal that involves him, padding his expense account, basically. It was just ridiculous, insane stuff. The guy's the greatest leader the country's ever had in its entire history. They're trying to impeach him for padding his expense account. It's just nauseating. And he literally put the guy on the spot. He said, why don't you give him a pardon? It's cigars and champagne. Who the hell cares about that? It's just hysterically funny. But the whole thing was just amazing from start to finish. It was such an historic day. I got up at 3:30 this morning to take it all in, and I'm glad I did.
I would like to play the clip that came with our list of topics today, where Trump calls out Obama and Biden on the world stage. Is that whatever I've got here? Let's give this a quick listen.
Share it.
And set back almost irretrievably by the administrations of Barack Obama and then Joe Biden. There was a hatred toward Israel. There was an absolute hatred. The setbacks really started when President Obama signed the Iran nuclear deal. This was a disaster for Israel, and it was a disaster for everyone. And I remember that Bibi Netanyahu came to the United States and worked so hard to try and get Obama not to do that deal.
Standing ovation.
He worked so hard. But it was like talking to a wall. I remember him telling me it was like talking to a wall. They wanted to go with Iran. They chose Iran, frankly, over a lot of other good nations, but specifically Israel. And that was the beginning of a very bad period of time. You had Obama go out, and the Iran nuclear deal turned out to be a disaster. And by the way, I terminated the Iran nuclear deal, and I was very proud to do it.
Yeah, we should never forget that both the Obama and Biden administrations worked overtime to try to protect and set Iran up as the preeminent power in the Middle East. And they did it for ideological reasons. It's just a treasonous thing as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. I just received a story here because we're about to go to our 4 o'clock. Posting 20 CIA and FBI agents have now confirmed Barack Obama worked with the old CIA director to create the fake Russia hoax and then locked it away in a CIA vault for about a decade. And I'm hoping that this continues to get legs, that this does not somehow get, because the media will, of course, ignore it until they have no choice.
Yeah. And even when he's arrested, if he's ever arrested, of course, they'll just, the blowback from the media will just be bigger than anything you've ever seen.
You know, it's funny. The best headline I've seen, David, in recent days was in the Babylon Bee. Hitler brings peace to the Middle East.
Yeah, I saw that one. They're so great. They're just awesome.
David, please give us your blog address so people can use this top of the hour break to look you up and subscribe to your work.
Yes, it's davidblackman.substack.com for politics and blackman.substack for energy. And I write about both every day and would love to see you there.
Yes, and you know what? You have a choice, friends. You can subscribe to David's blog or continue to live in ignorance. Is that a little too over the top? I tend to get that way at times. Our show, we'll be back with David in a moment. Rich's weather forecast coming up and Salem Radio Network news after Skipper's Traffic. Just a reminder, our show and our YouTube feed, Happy Hour with Greg and Pamela, is brought to you by Delk and Tomlinson, attorneys at law. Dana Delk and Jacqueline Tomlinson can handle all matters of family law, from divorce, separation, people from the past trying to break an existing agreement, adoptions, blended families, so many ways that the government can try and stick a leg out in front of the best of intentions. Don't let it be a crisis. The whole point in life is to learn when to turn it over. And when you have a situation, you are putting your situation in the hands of two incredibly competent and strong women who will look after you, because that's what you need. Somebody who can tell you, here's what's going on, and here's where we're going to get, and this is how we're going to get there. Legal leadership, 819-4810. If not for you, perhaps somebody you know is going through crisis, 819-4810, or this web address, thealabamafamilylawyers.com, for Delk and Tomlinson, attorneys at law.
Representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
And now this, Jay.
Traffic is brought to you by Skipper Pools. Skipper Pools for weekly service, equipment and liner replacements, and a sparkling pool all year. 356-0237. Skip the rest. Call the best. Skipper Pools.
Or from the Idiocracy with David Blackman in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
We continue to look good all over the area this afternoon. We are busy in some spots. I-65 and 85 through the interchange, and 65 northbound around Southern Boulevard. A little bit busy there. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka not reporting any issues at the moment. Buckle up. Be safe. We will keep you updated. Front Porch Grill is all about family, good friends, and good food. Stop by and put your feet under the table and visit with Marty and the gang. The Front Porch Grill, Highway 14 in Millbrook, next to Food Outlet. Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
New CBS Tonight.
All right, people, all hands on deck.
FBI is back.
I don't really recognize the world anymore. My team saw things, survived things.
There's something else going on here. Something bigger.
FBI, don't move!
I know what kind of people you are, and I'm not giving up. We are FBI, and we still have a job to do to protect people.
Let's move.
FBI tonight at 8 p.m. on WAKA.
Some nights, you just want great food and a place to unwind. Welcome to Jack's Tavern, where you get all the incredible flavors of Epicure in a laid-back tavern atmosphere. Perfectly grilled steaks, hand-breaded seafood, and pastas that put the chain restaurants to shame. Pair it with an extensive wine list or one of 58 beers on tap poured freakishly cold. Jack's Tavern, open Tuesday through Saturday. Good fun, good drinks, no rush. Just relax and enjoy.
God loves you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump and other world leaders have signed the Gaza peace deal at a summit in Egypt. The president told the global summit it's a monumental moment for the Middle East and the world, and he urged leaders to, quote, put the old feuds and bitter hatreds behind us. The president said the next step is rebuilding Gaza. Meanwhile, the last 20 remaining living hostages were freed today by Hamas and returned to Israel. In a speech at the Knesset, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised President Trump for coming up with the peace plan. The president is predicting that Canadian tourism in the U.S. will bounce back after there's a new trade deal. The president believes that Canadians will increase their travel to the U.S. once that happens. It was a booming session on Wall Street, regaining most of the ground that was lost last week. The Dow gained 587 points, the NASDAQ up by 490. This is SRN News.
If you are 65 or older, you know this, inflation is hitting everyone hard right now, especially when it comes to healthcare. Over the last 10 years, healthcare costs have skyrocketed by, get this, 230%. If you have Medicare Parts A and B, you know there are still out-of-pocket expenses like deductibles and co-payments, and they really add up. But here's some good news. MediShare 65 Plus is designed to fill in those gaps and help protect you from rising healthcare costs. At only $99 per month up to age 75, you get peace of mind at a price you can afford. And MediShare is trusted, too. It's been around 30 years. It's not some big impersonal thing. It's a community of people helping each other, business owners, pastors, retirees. People love it. MediShare 65 Plus just makes sense. To learn more, give them a call. They're great to talk to. They'll offer to pray with you each time you call, too. Call now. 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Shinbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Shinbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. This extended string of storm-free dry days continues. We need some rain desperately. For tonight, mostly clear skies. Another jacket weather night. Overnight low temperature falls to the middle 50s. Tomorrow, Tuesday, and also on Wednesday and probably Thursday as well. With abundant sunshine, I think we are a little warmer with a high up to about 86 tomorrow, maybe 87 as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday. The morning's still in the 50s until we get to, I think, Friday morning near 60. And there could be some isolated showers on Saturday, but I wouldn't bet the farm. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Ready to borrow smarter this season? Apply online in minutes at yourasecu.com. Call 334-270-9011 or visit your local branch today.
ASD Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASD.
Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Why visit a cliched haunted house this Halloween when there's someplace authentically terrifying?
Downtown, where you can take selfies in front of abandoned storefronts, hear the screams of people finding broken glass where they park their car, and get chased by real-life zombies.
You got $1?
As for that lady with the scary face, she may not be a witch, but she is brewing something.
Want some meth?
Don't take our word for it.
Now, sure, we could have gone to the Y and let some teen in a wolf mask howl at us, but instead we took the kids to the abandoned JCPenney full of tweakers. It was awesome, right, kids?
Yeah! So this Halloween, go downtown. A place so chilling, even the cops won't go after dark. Downtown is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For added terror, take the bus. fun.
As we rejoin David Blackman, our Tales of the Idiocracy broadcast brought to you in part by Montgomery Paint and Body. David, you recall a week ago today, this whole area was reeling from a mass shooting downtown. Friday night, I was downtown in the area where that whole thing took place. It's eerie. Fortunately, the restaurants, and there's some nice ones in downtown Montgomery, Zaza's and others, were loaded with people, but the streets were empty. And that event also impacted the Alabama National Fair, which is miles away, but national news never really bothered to check the location and conflated the shooting with the fair. And it really did seem to hurt attendance early on. Today is the last day of the fair. So friends, the weather's perfect. You're not going to get a better day to go to the fair. Try and get out there tonight and help Kiwanis so they don't take a big hit in fundraising, because they help worthy causes, and we hate to see them impacted by this. As we rejoin David Blackman, one name that we have not really touched on that deserves some time in the incredible deal and what's been achieved in the Middle East is Marco Rubio.
Yeah,
he's so what has changed in Marco? Because I saw him as just kind of a maybe a little more conservative, but sort of just another Republican who didn't seem to want to, take any strong positions. And he's like a different man now.
Yeah, he had a change in outlook last year at some point. I noticed a change in him, in his rhetoric while he was in the Senate. And, I think this appointment to be Secretary of State has been pretty liberating to him from a personal standpoint, and out of the Senate and having to do the bidding of Mitch McConnell and all the Rhino faction in that chamber. It's obviously liberated him to, say what's really on his mind. And it turns out what's on his mind is very similar to what's on President Trump's mind. And it's been a wonderful thing. And he, just as Trump has done, has, pretty much ignored the advice from the professional diplomats inside the State Department, who have really pretty much done nothing but screw things up for the last century around the world, and have had to be constantly bailed out by the U.S. military for doing so. Now we have a Secretary of State and a president who are trying to avoid having to use the military to bail out our diplomats, which is a welcome change, I think. And it should be probably, I suspect, it's a welcome change in other countries all over the world, because the United States has become a much more reliable partner to all these other countries than it was before, because we speak honestly and openly to them instead of in this diplomatic code, that is quite often exactly the opposite of what's being said is the truth. And so I think it's wonderful. I think he's been a great Secretary of State, and Trump in his speech today said he believes he'll be remembered as the greatest of all time, which certainly would be a wonderful thing if that ends up being the case.
I can't help but imagine a J.D. Vance Rubio ticket, and Rubio being kind of like J.D. has been for Trump, a reliable go-to source to get the message out there when they even allow him on TV to say something.
And to make a fool out of George Stephanopoulos on Sunday morning.
In fact, I've already seen several memes inferring that they're just waiting for Tom Homan to sue Stephanopoulos for defamation.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I would love to see that. And
What is this supposed tape he said that they have him on?
I haven't seen anything.
I don't know. I've pretty much ignored that because I just assume it's a bogus story.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
There's so many of these things that pop up that I look at it and just think facially this is probably a fake story planted by the left wing. And
But
I'm not gonna pay attention to it. I'm not gonna waste my time.
Stephanopoulos did his goose stepping and put it out there like it was a fact.
Of course, man, but that's what the media does for the Democrats.
I'll make a prediction though. If that did turn out to be the ticket in 28, because and I love the way they're picking on Chris Neal. By the way, Saturday Night Live's ratings are down dramatically from a year ago.
Well, they should.
Because they keep getting less funny.
Not a funny show. Hey, can we address Mark Cumby?
Yes, I was going to ask you about that too. That was on my
because I
list.
want to debunk this. This is a classic example of a story that's completely false. Completely false. Gets completely misportrayed by the news media that suddenly the United States, the Trump administration is allowing Qatar to build an Air Force base inside the United States. I think in Idaho is where it's claimed to be. What is actually happening is what we do on a regular basis with every country that's our ally and has its own Air Force, is we're running training missions from a U.S. base in Idaho or whichever state it is where this is going on. Our Air Force is running joint training missions with the Qatari Air Force, training them to use jets. The United States is sold to Qatar. Okay. There is no Qatar military base being installed anywhere in the United States. It's just training.
That history, by the way, David, goes back a long way. Do you know that we have a piece of England here in Montgomery? Okay. Maxwell Air Force Base, which has been critical to the Air Force. In fact, I played golf with the commanding general there a few years back, a man named General Deal, and he was awesome. And this is when Obama was president, and he looked at me and he said, doesn't matter who's in the White House, this base is here forever. This is way too critical
What is it called?
to the structure of the Air Force for them to ever consider even closing it. Okay. But there is a cemetery. I believe there are somewhere like 32 or 35 English pilots who were training here to learn combat techniques during World War II, who were killed in the practice, buried here, and technically that land is considered British land. Just an interesting little sub fact. You're welcome to join the conversation at 272-92. We have Woody who would like to join the conversation. Woody.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
There's that noise again.
I know. What is that?
Hey, Mr. Blackman.
Yes.
I was going to ask you, what do you think?
What is that?
Hang on a second, Woody. We have some kind of a noise coming from somewhere.
I can't hear it. I don't know what y'all are hearing, but. Is it still happening?
No.
Is anyone talking? I can't hear anything.
Oh, he can't hear the caller.
All right, try again, Woody.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, I was going to ask you, the Tomahawk missiles they're sending to Ukraine, do you think that's just something to get Putin's attention, or do you think, that's kind of serious stuff there?
It's very serious stuff. I hope it's just to get his attention. I hope we don't authorize the use of those, because those could reach Moscow very easily, and I don't think the Ukrainian army can be trusted with them. And so I've been very much against, from the beginning of that war, the United States providing them with our weaponry to make strikes inside of Russia, because that's an act of war on our part with Russia. And we don't need to be doing that. Obviously I'm not there in the White House, don't hear everything that's being discussed, but I'm very troubled by the recent turn we've taken related to that war.
Okay. I appreciate your comment. Have a good day.
Along those lines, last Friday we saw a big dip in the market because of China and
Yes.
the rare earth issue. Please, given your expertise in the field, take us through what's happening there. Excuse me. I just had to get some
Yeah.
ginger ale to settle my stomach.
So
it's
this
making its
is
presence known.
it's an enormous issue. I've written probably at least 20 columns about this issue at Forbes and the Daily Caller and other places since 2021. It's an enormous national security risk for the United States to be 80% dependent for our energy minerals needs on China and on supply chains controlled by China. So over the course of the last year, China has invoked steadily increasing restrictions on their own exports of rare earth minerals to the United States. And then on last Friday, the country invoked restrictions on third-party countries who seek to export both the minerals or magnets or computer chips made with rare earth minerals that are either produced or processed in China. China controls 2/3 of all the production of rare earth minerals on Earth and about 85% of the supply chains and processing for rare earth minerals on Earth. So what China's trying to do is shut down the flow of rare earth minerals to the United States from any country on Earth, basically. This is what they're attempting to do. And that was why you saw President Trump respond so strongly to that latest move by invoking a 130% tariff, basically, on imports of Chinese goods into the United States on Friday. Now, he moderated, and apparently the Chinese government had some discussions with Witkoff and others in the U.S. diplomatic corps about all this. And so tensions kind of eased over the weekend. Trump said he is going to follow through on the meeting with Xi Jinping at the end of this month that he had threatened on Friday to cancel. But that's a very difficult situation. That is not sustainable for the United States to be. And I have wailed about this, for 4 long years, that we cannot be dependent, reliant on China for these rare earths, because they go into every weapon system that the U.S. military uses now. Every modern weapon system uses these high-grade magnets that are made with these rare earth minerals. And we have to have them. We have to be able to use them to sustain our military might. And so it's just madness that this country ever allowed itself to become that heavily dependent on imports from China for this. This is a looming energy crisis because it also is instrumental to electric vehicles, solar panels, wind turbines. Every renewable kind of energy has to have these rare earths and the magnets that are made from them in order to function. And so we can't allow ourselves to remain reliant on China. And that's why we've seen the Trump administration make a series of moves this year for the Pentagon to own equity interests in the biggest U.S. processor of rare earths, a company called MP Materials. They made that move in July. They are negotiating buying an equity interest in a huge rare earths deposit mine in southwestern Greenland right now. They want to buy a 50% interest in that mine and a controlling interest in it. And they're working on deals with other companies for lithium and other critical energy minerals to try to free ourselves from this dependence on China. And so, what the move on Friday was about was China trying to protect its dominance in that arena. And it's a dominance that the United States cannot continue to tolerate.
Interesting, though, that Friday there was such a dramatic reaction to that news. And then today the market was much more optimistic. Why was that?
Well, because temperatures did cool over the weekend. Trump put out a message on Sunday saying everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And then you had the jubilation over the peace deal in the Middle East, which, as we talked about earlier, just eliminated, any tension in the Middle East in terms of oil prices. And so the market responded very positively to that. And that's why it reversed today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. See how long it lasts.
Which leaderships in the White House or does this go back many administrations, have allowed this Chinese dominance to grow. I mean, you spoke to what we gave Iran, including a plane load of money, which had a Republican done that would have been the end of them. How did this come to pass that they've managed to achieve this very powerful position?
So it goes back to the 1970s. The United States and really every Western country essentially made the decision, seeing that China did have all of these amazing wealth, the reserves of all of these kinds of energy minerals. We made a conscious decision to kill our mining industry in the United States and in Europe and cede that part of the global economy to China, because China was looking for a way to modernize itself. And so we decided it would be a great idea for us to cede that playing field to China and help them build up their own capability to mine and process these minerals and supply them to the rest of the world. And that would create jobs and upgrade the standard of living in China and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Well, apparently none of our genius diplomats during the Carter and early Reagan administration stopped to think, well, what happens if 30, 40 years from now, we end up being totally reliant on China, a communist government, for our energy needs? What's going to happen then? And so, you can't blame them for not having that foresight, but it's all started then. It became obvious that it's a real problem during the Obama years. The Obama administration did nothing about it because they were, half of them were on the take from China. And then the Trump administration came in, was going to try to do something about it, but he made all these terrible appointments to his cabinet and ended up, being tied up with the coup d'etat effort led by Robert Mueller and the old Obama people. And so didn't get anything done. And then Biden comes in and just moves to make the situation exponentially worse. And so here we are. And now we have President Trump unencumbered by all the insanity that happened during his first term, now moving to try to fix this situation. And it's just been gross negligence by a series of presidencies. And so here we are. It's a real national emergency.
By the way, this just into the News Talk Sports Desk. Seattle 3, Toronto 1.
Oh, is that game going on already? Dang.
Yeah, Rodriguez hit a 3-run home run, and those Toronto Misfits managed to get a run somehow. Probably a gift. David,
well, good. I'm hoping Seattle wins that series.
I am too.
Yeah.
Although I got to tell you, when you hear about all the crack pottery that goes on in Seattle, we know it's a leftist haven.
Yeah.
But somehow I always believe the baseball park is immune to that, because baseball fans generally don't tend to be that goofy.
Right.
And the other night during that 15-inning game, which was amazing, they did a cut shot to a Seattle fan who had her face buried in her hands, and she should have kept it there.
Oh, boy.
Because she pulled her hands apart. She looked like, what's her name, that's running for governor in California.
Oh, gosh.
It was pretty frightening. But that was a game, huh? That was 5 hours of
crazy.
Yeah. But we'll get back to baseball later in the show. I'll just keep you posted on the score. In the meantime, we're at 4:26, so let's take our next break. We have traffic, Rich's forecast, and 1819 news coming up in just a minute. So, David, we will break here and then be back.
Cool.
All righty. David Blackman, our guest on News Talk 93.1 FM. The Idiocracy, a presentation of Montgomery Paint and Body. A place that's been bringing quality flooring within reach of everyone is Georgia Floors Direct on the Boulevard, 30,000 square feet, led by a guy, until I come up with a better term, I'll continue to call him the human template for customer service, the gregarious Jeff Ballinson. Everybody loves Jeff because that's the way he is. He is that genuinely good. And you know what? He's got a team of people there to help you find the right flooring, the right window coverings, the right marble or granite kitchen countertop, who will provide you a sales experience that is second to nobody here in the River region. It's a naturally happy environment. With 30,000 square feet, they need to know is what kind of what you're looking to accomplish, what your approximate budget is, and then put all the pieces together and make it work. Nobody's got a better selection of rugs, hardwoods, laminates, tile, luxury vinyl, plank flooring, everything. Beautiful window blinds, and as I mentioned, the marble kitchen countertops and granite, and everything they sell is installed by their team. So you're guaranteed 100% satisfaction. They save you time, they save you money, and you'll love working with Georgia Floors Direct on the boulevard across from Lowe's. At 429, Skipper.
We continue to look good all over the area this afternoon. We are busy in some spots. I-65 and 85 through the interchange, and 65 northbound around Southern Boulevard, a little bit busy there. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka not reporting any issues at the moment. Buckle up, be safe. We will keep you updated. Front Porch Grill is all about family, good friends, and good food. Stop by and put your feet under the table and visit with Marty and the gang. The Front Porch Grill, Highway 14 in Millbrook, next to Food Outlet. Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
News is brought to you by Jack Ingram Nissan. Shop now at jackingramnissan.com.
1819 News.
The Alabama Department of Transportation released a report when it comes to roadway safety here in Alabama for the year 2024. The state saw a 2.3% decrease in crashes compared to 2023. There were a total of 967 fatalities in 2024 as a result of vehicle crashes. Over 36,000 Alabamians were injured in crashes. The total number of crashes came in over 140,000. 98% of those involved in a crash who were wearing a seatbelt were not harmed. 60% of the crash fatalities were not wearing a seatbelt. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness License Plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
A Florida man was taken into custody by Priceville police after a traffic stop resulted in the discovery of drugs. 58-year-old Stephen Ramsey was pulled over along Interstate 65. Police then seized marijuana, synthetic THC, and drug paraphernalia after searching Ramsey's vehicle. Joe Wheeler Utility Services is now joining Flash Fiber in trying to find the person who has been cutting fiber lines in Morgan and Lawrence County. Those lines are being put in to bring high-speed internet services to different communities. Joe Wheeler EMC is joining Flash Fiber in offering a $3,000 reward for information that leads to those responsible for this vandalism, which is impacting Alabama communities. Well, the first ever Chick-fil-A is coming to the town of Fairhope. The restaurant will be built at the Plantation Point Shopping Center, and customers are expected to be served with pleasure in the spring of 2026. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
In the market for a used car? Visit jackingram.com to view our selection of luxury, domestic, and imported vehicles. With 8 locations and online at jackingram.com, Jack Ingram Motors is sure to have the perfect car for you.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. What is a smart way to buy a house in today's market? Now is a good time to buy since we now have a more balanced market than we've had in years. Here are the steps. First step, get pre-qualified with an experienced local lender. It costs you nothing to find out firsthand whether you can qualify for a home and how much that home loan will cost. Second step, hire a local realtor with lots of experience that can guide you, advise you, and be your advocate. We call those buyer agents. Third step, decide what your wants and needs have to be. Bedrooms, baths, floor plan, location, and school zones. Fourth, ask your realtor to line up homes that fit your price category and your location needs. Fifth, start actually looking inside these homes and see what is available and the cost of each property. For all of this information and step-by-step approach, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
What does Trump deserve the Nobel Peace Prize for? What peace has Trump actually brought the world? He brings nothing but war and chaos. I mean, besides bringing peace to Armenia and Azerbaijan, Cambodia and Thailand, the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, Egypt and Ethiopia, India and Pakistan, Israel and Bahrain, Israel and Gaza, Israel and Iran, Israel and Morocco, Israel and Sudan, Israel and the UAE, Serbia and Kosovo. But besides those wars that he ended, what peace has he ever brought? What does Trump deserve the Nobel Peace Prize for?
That's good.
It's really good. I was going to play, because it's close to Halloween, Hillary's cackle bit, but she said something remotely nice about Trump, or at least praised the agreement. So
You're going to give her a pass?
I'm going to give her a week off.
Okay.
Don't worry. We'll go back to trashing her as soon as we have. I don't think it's speculation. We know, and I'm sure we're going to learn more. There's so many things, so many investigations ongoing. January 6th, that's got to come out. President Otto Penn has to come out. There's so much staggering corruption that I wonder if the resources are there to make the public know this, but they got to get this out there before the midterm, which I still remain very optimistic about. I think it could be a historical midterm in that we could once again see a serious seismic switch of support in both houses. Because what have they got?
We have to hope that happens, at least that they're able to maintain their current advantages. And that is the problem. I mean, you identify the problem right there. You're on the one hand trying to dramatically get rid of staff at the Justice Department, to weed out all the disloyal far leftists who have plagued that place for the last 16 years. And at the same time, mount all these major investigations of very highly complex conspiracies that have happened over the last 10 years. And so eventually you run short of personnel to make them all happen, and you have to prioritize things. And, that leads to frustration like you and I have had about John Brennan still walking around free among decent people in this country.
Yes.
And the delay in doing anything with Comey. We finally got an indictment on Letitia James, but there's so many others. What about Peter Strzok? What about all the bad actors in the Obama administration who mounted the Russiagate conspiracy? What about Hillary Clinton herself?
Yeah.
It was the ringleader of all of that, in addition to Obama himself. And so, I remain frustrated with the pace of what's happening at DOJ. But you do have to concede that, Pam Bondi does have these challenges that she has to work through. And so, to be fair, I occasionally try to be fair. There is that factor playing into all this.
Kamala's on a book tour. The book is called 107 Days, or as Bill Maher called it, Everybody Sucks But Me. Yeah. And I guess some hecklers have shown up at her event, and her response was, "I'm not the president." I came up with a good new term for Kamala Harris. She doesn't just speak in word salad. She's the word salad shooter. A combination of a popular gimmicky product from the 70s and 80s, because she certainly can spew them out. She's just unbelievable. But supposedly Joe is now getting serious treatment for the prostate cancer.
Yeah, he's going into radiotherapy, and that's with prostate cancer, that's that's a pretty aggressive thing. And so, I mean, I don't have any respect or regard for Joe Biden, but I certainly don't wish death upon him and hope the radiation treatment goes well. I actually have a good friend who went through radiation on a prostate cancer issue that came out just fine from it. And so hopefully that same thing will happen with Biden.
Yeah, you see, that's the difference between the idiots and us. We don't wish that. I mean, I said this many times when Obama was president. I don't wish him ill or anything else. That'd be the worst thing that could happen. People should succeed or fail on the merit of their ideas. And of course, the failure that Obama was, it was obvious to us at the time who were paying attention. But as time passes, and especially Obamacare, does anybody know anybody whose health insurance has gotten better or less expensive since that thing passed?
No.
It's been a horrific disaster for the whole country. And again, as I like to remind us every time we raise that issue, we have John McCain to thank for it.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Is it true that Jim Comey is going to put Trump on trial when he goes to court? How's he going to do that?
I have no idea. I don't know if that trial will ever actually get to a trial, if that case will actually get to a trial. They're in the motion phase now, and there's going to be motions to dismiss. And, some smart lawyers thinks there are grounds for dismissal. And of course, you have a Biden judge who's predisposed to find any reason he can lay his hands on to dismiss the case. So it may not ever get to a trial, but I don't know how you mount a defense against perjury. If you're Comey, it's all on tape. The lies are obvious. It's a blatantly open and shut case if you can get it to trial. Yeah. There's no question that he did it multiple times, many times more than what he's even being charged with. And so, but I mean, his lawyer is Abby Lowell, who's a radical left-wing Marxist lawyer with a big firm in D.C., who's also representing Letitia James, also representing the dude with the weird mustache who also has been indicted, the former National Security Advisor who had his home raid, John Bolton.
Bolton.
Same lawyer representing all of them, with his big firm, and probably doing it gratis because he's a radical communist SOB. So, he's a smart lawyer, and he'll make up all sorts of stuff for a defense, and, we'll just have to deal with it when it comes.
Apparently, MSNBC invited Michael Cohen on to talk about all of this, and he left them visibly annoyed because he said they'll be found guilty.
Well, yeah, Letitia James,
I would like to believe there's hope.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to prison.
If
that case gets to trial, she's going to jail.
I don't care if that trial concludes at 3 a.m. on Sunday. I'm having a party.
Yeah,
I will be poised, ready to celebrate that because of all these despicable characters that we speak about. She's at the top of my list. A woman, and the nerve and the audacity of people on the left. Oh, this is tyranny. This is revenge. No, running for office, promising to jail one individual in particular, where there's not even a crime that's been charged or even alleged. I'm just going to get him. That's what I'm going to do. That's okay.
Yeah, that was 90% of her campaign to get elected to that job.
And then she does it, actually convicting him of paying off a loan on time, which is a serious crime, while she's doing the very same thing. I've said this 1,000 times, the staggering heights of hypocrisy. That used to be a bad thing. Nobody ever wanted to be accused or caught saying one thing and then doing another.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but you know, that only matters to people who have a sense of shame and a conscience. And
Yeah.
so, you know, these people are Democrats we're talking about. They don't have either one.
Are we going to see an end to this shutdown? What's your take based on all the information available to this particular moment in time?
Well, I've been wrong about this all along. I thought it'd be over very quickly. But, you know, now I think it's obviously going to go past Saturday because that's the No Kings event. And it's not just in D.C., it's all over the country. You know, this is the Soros people are paying out millions to get this one organized. So it'll go into next week at some point. It could even go longer than that because the Republicans don't have any motivation to make any concessions to the Democrats to let them save face. And it's just a matter of how long Chuck Schumer wants to hold the country hostage for his personal ambitions.
You know who's been really quiet during all of this? AOC.
Well, except for in the beginning. Yeah.
At the beginning,
right.
He shot her mouth off, and that was stupid because, you know, she's the one.
She probably
benefiting.
got chastised.
Well,
Yeah.
she probably did, but I mean, yeah, she shouldn't be talking. She's the one who's benefiting from Schumer getting the blame because she's, you know, one of her options is to run against him if she doesn't think she can make the presidential run. And so, you know, she ought to just be sitting back laughing from her point of view. If you're as cynical and corrupt as she is, you know, that's what you'd expect her to be doing. It was really dumb for her to you never interrupt your opponent, your potential opponent, when he's committing, you know, career suicide. And that's what Schumer's doing.
Yeah, you know, this is just a hunch. You work with facts, but my hunch is that she will not run for president in 28. I think you're going to see a big Republican success next year. She'll let Gavin Newsom embarrass himself, and then it'll be her turn, the way things work in this country. How is all of this polling? One of the reasons, you know, when we introduce David every week, we always mention the fact that he relies on polls that are reliable, which does not include even Fox. The media
Fox
polls.
is one of the worst.
They really are. And I totally think their polling is designed to scare conservatives into watching the network for reassuring commentary from Jesse and Gutfeld and all that.
It's a completely fake poll. Yeah.
That's dangerous to me. But the polls that you trust, where is everything sitting? How about Trump? How about any number of issues?
Well, I mean, even the New York Times wrote a story last week about how stable Trump public approval ratings have been since January. I mean, he's traded in this 47 to 52% range the whole time. It's unprecedented. He's more popular than any other modern president at this point in his term.
Wow.
He's just a very popular president at this moment. You know, most presidents, when they get 8-9 months in, are having a public backlash against them because they're not keeping their promises. They're not getting the things done they promised they'd get done. Trump is getting everything he done that he promised to get done. Everything. Everything he does, you can point to a campaign promise. And it's unprecedented in American history. And so, you know, he's doing well. Personally, the shutdown the polling's fine on the shutdown. Rich Barris published a poll yesterday, or at least he did a one of his podcasts on polling data he has, showing that literally nobody cares about the government shutdown. As long as you get the military paid, nobody's going to care about the government shutdown.
And that's why at the beginning of the show, I just thought it was a masterstroke.
Where did you go?
Yeah, you keep disappearing. That background is eating you up. I like it though.
I think you have to get.
No, it's very
I
nice.
think you have to get closer. It loses you.
Yeah, when you lean back, it loses you. Got a great shot of the old Absinthe House on the left there. Yeah, my favorite.
This gives us
It's a pretty picture.
this gives us such a global effect because I'm
Yeah.
in New Orleans, David's in Dallas, and you're
I'm in the
woods.
where I belong.
Any particular woods or just random woods?
The most spooky woods I could find.
And you can
Woods.
you can see all of this on YouTube by looking for Greg and the Wood Nymph under Happy Hour. That's
Wait until we go on break and you see the new background that I just made. It is amazing.
oh well, we'll see that when we come back.
Yeah, well, as soon as we go to break, it's going to change.
Okay, because we can take a stop now. But one other thing, all of this success, even certain Democrats, I love Bill Maher, who says you can say anything you want, but you cannot deny success. And Trump is successful.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be reading things like this, you know?
Oh, I know. It's wonderful. And Bill Maher is a great example of a guy whose instincts are wrong about literally everything, but occasionally stumbles across the nugget of truth and talks about it on his show, which is great and good for him.
He said this to William H. Macy, who agreed with him. Macy then pointed to a signed sheet of paper hanging in Maher's studio that listed the many insults the president had thrown at him over the years, which Trump signed when Maher visited the White House. I mean, that's cool.
That's funny.
That's very cool. That's effing brilliant, Macy said of Maher bringing it to the White House to sign. That's what's so amazing, that he, off the top of his head, come up with 56 different, before reading all of the insults, it's hip and something about the human mind or some human minds. Maher quipped that he couldn't come up with that many names for somebody. And, Maher's the guy the Democrats need to listen to. He's trying to help them. Take the View off the air. Stop with the riots and the insanity. Yeah. And what's the latest out of Chicago, by the way? I've seen nothing on that lunacy.
I haven't either. I've been too absorbed with what's going on in the Middle East today to even look at other stuff. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
By the way, Mondani's campaign has been caught taking in illegal donations from overseas. But those are the committed to vote for that. You know, it's interesting that the Washington Post and other traditionally leftist organizations, they're actually worried about this guy.
Yeah.
Why
they're worried
are
about
not
what he's going to do to the city if he gets elected?
Why are people not paying attention to that in New York? What the hell's wrong with them?
I don't know. I mean, if he gets elected, that city's going to collapse in a hell of a hurry. It's just going to go straight to the dogs. And then they're going to have another 3.5 years of that guy trying to find ways to apologize for him and blame everything on somebody else. And, the Washington Post doesn't want to have to do that. New York Times. So, they're worried about it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. And one of the things I'm looking forward to or hoping to see is victory in New Jersey and in Virginia. I think that will be a very interesting tipping point towards the midterms. We'll see what happens. And we can still take a call or two at 272-9228. Hope you're enjoying this Columbus Day. And don't forget, the fair is open for this night, and you could not possibly ask for a better night. David, your blog address, please, and then we're going to take this quick break.
It is davidblackman.substack.com for energy, or politics, and blackman.substack.com for energy.
All right, we'll be back with David in just a moment. Right now, Skipper's got the latest on the road.
We have an accident reported on Day Street. This is going to be right past the I-85 flyover ramp today at the interchange in downtown Montgomery. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. Also, some construction going on and a possible minor accident on the ramp from 65 southbound to South Boulevard. That ramp is crawling right now. If you're in the leftmost lane and traveling on southbound, you shouldn't have too much of a problem, just a minor slowdown. Big backup in traffic with folks trying to exit, though, on that ramp to South Boulevard. Front Porch Grill is all about family, good friends, and good food. Stop by and put your feet under the table and visit with Marty and the gang. Front Porch Grill, Highway 14 in Millbrook, next to Food Outlet. Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. This extended string of storm-free dry days continues. We need some rain desperately. For tonight, mostly clear skies. Another jacket weather night. Overnight low temperature falls to the middle 50s. Tomorrow, Tuesday, and also on Wednesday and probably Thursday as well. With abundant sunshine, I think we are a little warmer with a high up to about 86 tomorrow, maybe 87 as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday. The morning's still in the 50s until we get to, I think, Friday morning near 60. And there could be some isolated showers on Saturday, but I wouldn't bet the farm. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
There is something evil lurking about in the shadows. Something so terrifying, the sound of it will send chills up your spine and put fear in your heart. It is a sound that has driven men and women alike to the brink of insanity, and you may be next. This Halloween, beware of Hillary Clinton in The Cackle. It can strike anywhere at any time. No one is immune to the cackle. In theaters this Halloween, The Cackle. Rated PG-17. Republicans not admitted.
She's really got brain damage.
The Gillette Cavalcade of Sports is on the air.
Oh my gosh, it's that time already.
Yeah, we always wrap up the Idiocracy, but first this live update is Seattle Tree, Toronto Tree.
Oh, crap! God damn it!
Yeah, I share your angst over that. Yeah, we shouldn't have a baseball team in Canada for starters.
Yeah, I know.
The globalization of baseball didn't work in Montreal. We need to get them out. We need to get the Blue Jays to Nashville or some other place.
They do have a championship called the World Series, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why they do
But
that?
That originated back when the United States was really the only place baseball was played, you know. So
yeah.
And they're like, we are the world.
We are the world, yeah.
You got a point. But you got the World Baseball Classic in the spring. And by the way, do you ever watch MLB Network and MLB Central with Mark DeRosa?
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the brightest baseball people I've ever heard.
really
That guy's got a manager. I would love to see him take over the Yankees from that nincompoop Aaron Boone. So tonight, the Brewers and Dodgers begin their series. And, the interesting possibility with the 4 teams that are left is we could have a team that's never played in the World Series, Seattle, and a team that has not been in the World Series or won one for over 60 years, Milwaukee, playing each other. Although I have to tell you, even though the Brewers won the most games and the Dodgers had a lot of injury issues and stuff, I think they kind of set it up this way. They're ready. They've got a lot of depth, both in the lineup and on the mound, and Sasaki becoming a closer. I really
the Dodgers got healthy towards the end of the season. I mean, it really all worked out for them, especially Sasaki. Being able to use him as a closer has been a godsend. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have survived to this point. But yeah, there's a lot of depth. Of course, their payroll. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars on this payroll, so I guess it's not surprising. But Milwaukee's really tough. I mean, really good, and those guys are hot. Their lineup has been pretty hot at the bat, where the Dodgers really haven't scored a lot of runs. I mean, they did against Cincinnati, but in this last series, barely scored. Where had a hard time, and won that last game. I can't remember ever feeling so dissatisfied with the Dodgers win than I was that 4th game where you win on an error by the pitcher. But whatever,
Boy, that's got to be any athlete, no matter what the sport, that you're the one that can. And you muff. Although there was no chance, I think, of throwing the guy out at home plate. They had to get the runner.
No, not at home. But if he'd have gone to first, he might have got the guy at first, and the inning would have been over. But anyway,
By the way, Cal,
the Dodgers need Ohtani to hit. I mean, he can't go 2 for 18 in this series and expect to win.
You think that? Ohtani's the most amazing player in baseball. He hits for incredible power and hits well in general, and then pitches like one of the best. But is that too much, for one athlete, especially under the stress of playoffs? I'm wondering if the pitching is affecting his hitting.
Well, it is. I mean, in the games where he was the starting pitcher, his batting average was under 200, because he doesn't get the pregame preparation in the batting cage like he would on a normal day. And that matters a lot, in modern baseball, a lot more than it used to. And because everybody you're facing throws a 98 mile an hour fastball and 93 mile an hour slider. And it's just a different world now. But so it does impact him. And, ultimately he's going to have to make a choice, because the other risk you have is that, like happened 2 years ago, he has a big arm injury that knocks him out.
Yeah.
And you can't afford to risk that with a hitter like that. You just can't afford that. So I just think the Dodgers would do well to advise him in the offseason that maybe he should think about ending his pitching career.
Well, if they win it all, even if they win it all, that would make all the sense in the world. Back-to-back championships. What else is there to prove? Let's go for the big picture here. In other sports, our local heroes at Auburn continue to get screwed by officials.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what they're out to prove, but, man, they have been – I've never seen football fans so angry, not at the coach. I've seen them angry that way at the coach at Auburn and Alabama, but the officials that they've drawn for the game against Oklahoma and this one recently against Georgia, I thought they had that game.
Well, they should have had that game. They should have been up 17-0 at halftime. And the referee, that guy has been an SEC referee for a long time. He's one of the most veteran referees they have. And for him to look at that review and get it wrong, the replay was as clear as it could be. That was a touchdown.
Yep.
And, this is not funny. It's not a joke, because Hugh Freeze could end up losing his job at the end of the year, in large part because they didn't win that game against Georgia. Because, I know the alumni have to be pretty dissatisfied with his 1-loss record, even though I think he's made tremendous progress with that program, even though the 1-loss record may not reflect it right now. So that was just inexcusable. If Auburn goes up into halftime up 17-0, they most likely win that game. But going in the way they did, they didn't have any momentum, couldn't get it back in the second half. And
what about our new way to clap?
Our new way to clap?
Oh, God. Yeah. The Georgia coach, what's his name?
Kirby. He totally called a timeout. And then they did not take it from him. He said, I was clapping. This is how I clap now.
No, it's so, and so looking, I wasn't in the SEC until 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
On the outside looking in at the SEC officials have always had this reputation of, favoring their calls in favor of the higher ranked team. If a team of SEC team is in the top 10 like Georgia or Alabama was most years, the reputation was the officiating favored them. Well, Saturday night in that game, that was pretty hard to argue with.
Pretty clear.
Yeah. Anyway.
Alabama, after an awful opening game, is now back and ranked number 6.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they're on fire. They're playing really well, and I don't know who's going to beat them from here on out.
By the way, one of the reasons that baseball is a great sport, you lose today, you don't have to wait a week to have a better game. You can go back at it. When speaking, it's still 3-3 in Seattle, and for those of you wondering, Cal Raleigh flied out.
Oh, crap. Ah, damn it.
Yeah, I agree. I like him, though, man. He's just a
big dumper.
Big dumper. David, thank you as always for your time. Will you be able to join us again on Thursday?
Absolutely. I'll be here.
Did you see the poster that I made for the break?
No.
Did you like it?
Oh, I did see that. That was awesome. Yes.
The Halloween
I thought
one?
you were saying it was going to be your background, and then it pops up there. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Oh, look at that. I can't keep up with the changes on my own show. I'm incompetent that way. Well, I mean, of course, that's the question we ask every day when we walk in here.
Are you sure this work will be in competent hands?
Certainly, we're all incompetent.
David, please give your blog address before we say good evening.
Just Google David Blackman at Substack. It all comes up. It's so easy. It's like magic.
Thank you for a great time this afternoon and
right.
all the information.
See ya.
Take care, my
See y'all
friend.
Thursday.
Got to get him to town.
Well, wouldn't it be more fun to go to Dallas?
Well, yes, I want to
Yeah.
see Dealey Plaza. I want to do all of those things. But it's all on my bucket list. The problem is the walk to my bucket is getting closer, and I should start moving on some of these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should.
You don't have to look like the walk to your bucket is right around the corner, because Pamela here and her amazing business, AMS Studios in Prattville,
Yeah.
can help you.
Yes. For anything, head to toe.
That's right.
Skin concerns, body concerns. Now's the time of year we're thinking about rewinding what we did during the summer and looking forward to next summer's body and face. I'm doing a lot of IPLs right now. People are getting into the swing of microneedling because we're out of the sun. So now is the time. Just rewind, take the years off, look great around your family at Thanksgiving and Christmas when y'all get together and they wonder what you did.
And people, here's the thing. Everybody thinks, well, cosmetic surgery is the only option there. No, it's not.
No.
Technology is a great answer and a fraction of the cost of cosmetic surgery, less risk and great results. And that's what they produce at AMS Studios. By the way, if you're looking to give a great gift to somebody, you have that option as well. Provide somebody with a little spoilage, like a nice massage or one of those incredible facials.
Absolutely.
And all the other ways to self-improvement. Browse the AMS website at ams-studios.com. Or if you'd like to consult and ask questions, feel free to reach out at 730-1268, 730-1268 for AMS Studios in Prattville. Traffic, Wall Street Business, SRN News, I'll call up them brand.
Well, we have an accident on Day Street. The accident itself is in the lanes coming up to the interchange. If you're exiting there on 85 southbound today, watch out for emergency vehicles across from you. If you're coming up, please watch out. Folks are walking around that area there. Also, 65 southbound on the ramp to West South Boulevard. We have construction going on. Had a minor accident earlier. And that is a very busy spot with traffic struggling to get down to the boulevard from 65 South. Left lane will carry you right on by all of that slowdown. Please buckle up, drive carefully. We will keep you updated. Register now for mini-term B classes at Trenton State. Classes begin tomorrow, October 14th. Start the journey to a better you now. Go to trentumstate.edu for more information. Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew. China and the U.S. seem to be toning down their heated rhetoric over trade and tariffs.
Beijing is calling on the U.S. to withdraw a new threat of 100% tariffs and other export control measures. The statement comes after President Trump issued a new tariff threat in response to China placing strict curbs on the export of rare earth materials, a vital resource used in a host of critical applications. While not withdrawing the threat, Mr. Trump did strike a more conciliatory tone, saying the U.S. wants to help, not hurt, China. Rich Thomason, Washington.
And that softer tone sent stocks higher. The indexes rose as President Trump did soften his criticism, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up by 587 points at the closing bell. The S&P up by 102. The NASDAQ gained 490. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
Janny King, the king of clean, delivers reliable, high-quality commercial cleaning services through a proven franchise model that empowers local business owners. Janny King's franchise owners receive the training, support, and resources needed to succeed, while clients benefit from tailored cleaning solutions backed by a global brand. Janny King ensures consistent results, trust, and success for everyone we serve. Go to JannyKingCleans.com and find out how we can help you. That's JannyKingCleans.com.
Janny King, the king of clean.
New CBS Tonight.
All right, people, all hands on deck.
FBI is back.
I don't really recognize the world anymore. My team saw things, survived things.
There's something else going on here. Something bigger.
FBI, don't move!
I know what kind of people you are, and I'm not giving up. We are FBI, and we still have a job to do to protect people. Let's move.
FBI tonight at 8 p.m. on WAKA.
Want that ride that is fun, affordable, and street legal? Check out ETG Outdoors in Montgomery. They have huge discounts on electric golf carts with many brand new units under 10 grand. New and used inventory, financing available, and they service what they sell. ETG Outdoors even provides lithium battery conversions and free delivery with purchase. Whether it's for the neighborhood, the farm, or just fun, ETG Outdoors, 7006 Vaughn Road, or online at etgoutdoors.com. Cruise smarter, drive electric. ETG Outdoors. Your ride to freedom starts here.
It's October 13th, the greatest day ever. On the 13th of October, 1792, construction was started on the Executive Mansion in Washington, D.C. when the first cornerstone was laid at the White House. Feel free to add your own Bill Clinton joke here. Have a great October 13th, the greatest day ever.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
At 510.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Israel and Hamas have taken a significant step in the ceasefire agreement for the Gaza war by releasing hostages and prisoners. The move raises hopes for a long-term truce in the region. However, unresolved issues like Hamas's disarmament and Gaza governance highlight the deal's fragility. On Monday, Israelis celebrated the return of hostages while Palestinians welcomed freed prisoners. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson predicts the federal government shutdown may become the longest in history. He says he won't negotiate with Democrats until they hit pause on their health care demands and reopen the government. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 588 points, the Nasdaq rose 490, the S&P advanced 102. This is SRN News.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, Oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. It's more than just great prices on lumber. From Trex decking to energy-efficient windows and Tamco shingles, Alabama Wholesale Lumber has it all.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. This extended string of storm-free dry days continues. We need some rain desperately. For tonight, mostly clear skies. Another jacket weather night. Overnight low temperature falls to the middle 50s. Tomorrow, Tuesday, and also on Wednesday and probably Thursday as well. With abundant sunshine, I think we are a little warmer with a high up to about 86 tomorrow, maybe 87 as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday. The morning's still in the 50s until we get to, I think, Friday morning near 60. And there could be some isolated showers on Saturday, but I wouldn't bet the farm. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
Do you have real estate problems? Whether you're facing foreclosure, inherited a property, or have costly repairs, we understand. At Rapid Fire Home Buyers, we're here to help. Any condition, any situation, we'll give you an honest cash offer for your home so you can move forward. Because when real estate problems cause you uncertainty, you deserve a solution you can trust. Any condition, any situation, we're here to help. Give Rapid Fire Home Buyers a call today at 334-675-1000. That's 334-675-1000.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Here's an exciting police chase from Parma Heights, Ohio.
Share it.
Which I was just going to do. David laughs every time you say that to me.
I know.
That's so funny. Parma Heights, Ohio, where they were trying to capture a Halloween pumpkin inflatable that was evading the law.
Oh, no.
Where did that come from? Dude, I was following
This will
it.
sound
And
a lot better when I put the volume on.
I struggle with the Where did that come from? Dude, I was following it and it kept blowing away. And when I went to grab it over here, it took off. I don't know, we're trying to deflate it, but it keeps filling up. Oh my gosh. We're currently struggling with it right now. Wow. Man, I've never seen that before.
Let's see if we can get a look at this thing.
Oh, do we have a
Yes.
picture of it?
It's coming. You know, we have to keep up with our dial-up internet speed here, so it may take a moment. Looks like it's getting ready to display. See? There it is, the
Oh my gosh.
giant inflatable pumpkin. And I don't know if they caught it or if it got. Yeah, they did catch it. Okay, capture was made and initiated. And we have other important stories to cover too, but none more important than a nice day in the market. And we're going to do that with the man we call Mr. Right on the Money.
Yes, we are.
And that's Brant McDonald from Invista Advisors. Hey, Brant.
Hey, Greg. How you doing, man? Historic day today. Crazy day Friday.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about. You know, I'm sure you saw the action in the market on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping I could, take a little time to call in, but it was kind of crazy afternoon.
But a good job in terms of reversing that, from Friday to Monday, even though it's not quite back to where it was. They were able to shake off the jitters. Tell us how it all looked to you.
So Thursday afternoon late, really Thursday evening, and then certainly Friday morning, the Chinese pulled a real fast one on rare earths, with all these export controls and so on and so forth. won't go into tons of detail on that, other than to say that it was certainly not something that had been negotiated between Trump and the Chinese in those ongoing trade discussions that they've had now for the last 3 or 4 months. It was a real shocker. With that news Friday morning, about the only thing that was up on Friday were the rare earth mineral companies, the ones that are publicly traded anyway. And certainly, Trump, I won't say he knee-jerked into it, but he definitely fired back and said, hey, two can play this game, basically. I'm paraphrasing. We'll slap 100% tariffs on China, so on and so forth, and we're going to win this thing. We've got way more levers to pull in this trade war, and it just got everyone. I mean, that's not what you want to hear. So the market took a giant dive on that news, and certainly, as I said, the only things that were up were the rare earth and commodity names. Come into it this morning, Trump puts out a truth on his Truth Social, saying, "Hey, everything's going to be fine." Xi had a bad day or something, and it's all going to be fine. It's all going to work out. And so with that, of course, we saw this nice big rally. Now, today is a federal holiday, so the stock market was open, but the bond market was closed. So we didn't really get to see a lot of action in the bond market, which typically stocks will take their cue from bond yields. But nevertheless, it was a sigh of relief. Market was up today as a result. And I think also the feel-good sort of overtones coming out of the Middle East. It was quite historic. You had dozens and dozens of nations represented there in Egypt. And I think it was smart. I think if you look at what's happening in the Middle East, I truly do believe this has a chance to be long-lasting and historic. And I'll tell you why, because, and this is my opinion, but I think the vast majority of these leaders, we'll just call them leaders, in the Middle East, their lifeblood is oil money. That's all they have over there. And we're going into a new sort of modern age of new technologies, new technological advancements. Energy needs are extremely high, but if you look at the way that countries around the world are embracing nuclear technology, and the advancements around energy, I think the message that Trump probably gave them was something along the lines of, look, guys, oil and fossil fuels will probably always have a place, but the simple fact of the matter is, if you look out over the next 20, 30 years, that's not going to be the only game in town. There are many, many other, particularly nuclear, which is, as I said, a lot of people moving to that because of the significant technological advancements around nuclear, especially with these small modular reactors. And I won't go into all of that. We could do that later one day because it is fascinating. But I think the bottom line takeaway is, he told these guys, why don't you focus on how you can best monetize, the oil that's in the ground and leverage it while you can over the next 20, 30 years, and be a viable partner in a democratic process and a free market capitalist economy around the world. If you look at oil money, they've invested in professional sports teams in Europe with soccer and other things. They're very active in private equity. And, places like the UAE and Qatar and others. And so I think Trump, the businessman that he is, really, really resonated with those world leaders. And I think that he's made an incredible amount of progress towards those goals of true peace, and let's move on to the next generation of wealth in this world and what that could mean for you. So I think it was a big deal. Looking forward to the rest of this week, we've got a couple of big things coming. One, tomorrow and Wednesday, we get all the banks that are going to announce earnings. That's really big because if you look at credit cards and you look at auto loans, that's becoming front and center now. It's no longer just me talking about it for the last 12 months. It's now finally made the front pages of newspapers. And guess what? All these business development companies, the publicly traded companies that are these, what I call subprime lenders, particularly the tertiary sorts of lenders, they've all been crushed. I mean, they've been hit super hard. The numbers are now finally confirming everything we've been saying for the last 12 months, which is why we try to avoid that. And I think that's a problem. So we want to hear from the banks about the consumer. And then obviously the October 15th is another big day because that's a huge day for payrolls, particularly in the federal government, obviously, and in the military. So we're going to see how the president handles that. And because even Scott Bessent himself this morning said that the shutdown is beginning to start to have an impact on the economy. So hopefully we can get all that resolved. It's going to be an interesting week. And as I've been saying all of last week, it sure will be nice to be able to get this government data out there for all of us to see.
Yeah, there's no reason for this to be going on at all, this shutdown. It's ridiculous. I think it's a big mistake for the Democrats. This is not going to work well for them. And I thought it was a masterstroke for the administration to say the military will be paid on time because we're going to use money from tariffs, which may have woken a few people up to the value of that revenue.
No, I think it's beautiful because there are some discussions, debate, and arguments over whether or not he has the power to circumvent this continuing resolution process and take certain money from in the Treasury to pay things. But good luck to whoever wants to challenge him on that he can't pay the military, you know. And the sad part about this whole thing too, Greg, is this is just a constitutional resolution. I mean, a continuing resolution.
Yeah.
This is not the official budget. All we needed, all that we were asking the Senate to do was to bless the clean CR for like 5 weeks, and then we come right back to the table again and start talking about the budget for next year.
Yeah.
But they couldn't do that. So what a mess, I tell you.
It is.
And I agree with you. This is going to haunt them.
Yeah. I absolutely believe it will. I think they're making, but they're so, and here today, it's like there are reasonable Democrats like Bill Maher and others who are congratulating the president for bringing peace to a turbulent area. It's an incredible achievement that at least some are recognizing that he did. Even Hillary, my God. But they're so invested in their hatred of the man for a reason I'm still not sure about.
Hillary, I tell you, yeah, trust me, Hillary doesn't want to say anything good about that man. The only reason she's doing this is because the flames, the fire is so hot under her fanny right now with this Russiagate stuff.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, they are pulling all the stops to call off the dogs.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason.
You do have to wonder if she wasn't buying a little consideration with that public comment. I think there's going to be a lot of hot toasted keisters in DC soon. January 6th, the Russiagate, all of it. It's all going to come out. And hopefully a good number of them will pay with some prison time. Brad, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and we will talk tomorrow.
You got it, buddy. Y'all have a great night.
You too.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor, and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Boy, today is Monday's Go. Got a nice nap after the morning show. Got up about 11 and hit the bike. Did about 8 miles. Felt great. And whenever I think about a day that feels that productive, where you actually take time to do something good for yourself that's healthy, I always think of Montgomery Men's Health and how grateful I am to them for making that possible. It's called Montgomery Men's Health. And yes, when it comes to men's sexual health, that's what they do. They treat all types of issues from ED to PE and so forth, but it's all part of a comprehensive plan to restore your complete vitality, including libido, obviously, but to have the energy. You know, one of the leading causes of ED is being overweight. But there are guys who try to lose weight and can't, and that's often due to a low testosterone level because it impacts every aspect of a man's life. So step one to wellness is to reach out at 334-440-3663, 334-440-3663, and make an appointment for a consultation and a $99 test. Once those results are in, if the number is low, they can quickly begin the restorative process. This is so critical because it does impact everything, and that's the first thing they're going to want to try and determine on your behalf at Montgomery Men's Health when you make this appointment. Now, pills don't always work, and they have options for ED and other issues that go well beyond pills that you probably have never heard of. They're not widely advertised, but they're there and they work. So you're going to a place that can literally take on any challenge and help you with it. Again, 334-440-3663 or MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. That's MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. Here's Skipper.
Well, we've got some new accidents. Highway 82 at Legends Drive up in Prattville. Please use caution there. Also, we have an accident on Highway 14 at 111 in Elmore. Please watch out for that. It is right near Cusada River Road. Also at Taylor Road and Taylor Court, got a minor accident there. And we've still got some folks on the scene on Day Street right before I-85. Traffic is still a little bit heavy on 65 southbound, and they've been doing some work on the ramp to West South Boulevard. Still got a little bit of a slowdown right there. Buckle up and be safe. We will keep you updated. Register now for mini-term B classes at Trentham State. Classes begin tomorrow, October 14th. Start the journey to a better you now. Go to trenthamstate.edu for more information. I'm Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
A lot of information coming in on a shooting. A woman shot in the head. Location believed to be Lower Wetumpka Road.
Whoa.
They do have a suspect, and they are in the process of looking for him. But if you're in that area, just be mindful. You may see police activity. I've got more information coming in from Skipper, and my inclination is to just wait until, all right, at Christie Lane across from Bell Road on Troy Highway. Wow. All right. Bell Road on Troy Highway. That's right where it intersects, I believe, with 231. Corner of Christie Lane and Oakley Road. That's where the shooting was, not Lower Wetumpka. All right. So, again, information like this comes in quick and sketchy. So if you're in that area, Christie Lane and Oakley Road, be mindful there could be police activity. You might want to avoid it altogether. Not a bad idea. All right. It's 5:31.
The Hunting on the Harriet 2 Riverboat is coming October 25th. Dress up in your most scariest costume, bring your partner, and dance the night away on the Alabama River. The spirited cruise includes live entertainment, spooky drink specials from the Cash Bar, delicious snacks, and a costume contest with prizes for the best. You must be 21 to board. Get ready to party. Book your haunting cruise on the Harriet 2 at funinmontgomery.com today.
Finding affordable healthcare shouldn't be complicated. That's why during open enrollment, Guardian Insurance Services makes it easy to choose the right plan. With simple, affordable options for your family and your budget, good coverage is just a few clicks away. But hurry, open enrollment is only for a limited time. Visit myguardiancu.com/health and get started today. Guardian Insurance Services, affordable coverage made simple.
Time for news.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. An investigation is underway following the death of a man on Dexter Avenue in downtown Montgomery. The unresponsive man was found just before 5 a.m. Saturday morning, about a block away from the Court Square fountain. The unidentified man was pronounced dead at the scene. No further information has been released. A fourth suspect has been arrested in connection to a Montgomery fatal shooting that happened nearly a year ago. 19-year-old Cardarius Griggs is charged with capital murder in the death of 22-year-old Eldrin Wright. Two 16-year-olds and an 18-year-old were previously charged with capital murder in the shooting at Liberty Square Apartments in October of last year. Montgomery's iconic Chris's Famous Hot Dogs restaurant has been sold. After being owned and operated by the same family for over 100 years, the Montgomery restaurant is about to undergo a change in ownership. Chris's Famous Hot Dogs will be passed on to its new owners on October 17th. Montgomery's oldest restaurant new owners have not yet been named.